Welcome back to New Amsterdam Radio, the podcast for creators because the city is yours. Flobo Boyce being joined by a man who likes to name things after himself. Tony Moore Jr., how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you? No, look, now you know the other person that has me beat by naming stuff after himself is
Yeah,
James Law Jr.
friends of the show, James I Jr. Yeah, I don't. Is it like a thing I'm missing out on? I should have more stuff named after me. Is that the thing?
Well, here's the thing. When you have a name that can really be played off of, why not utilize it? You know what I mean? So like my last name is Moore. What do you want? More. So
Right.
what can I give you? More. So it's like
Yeah.
why not utilize that? And that way it sticks in people's brain. It's branding.
Right. So, do you
Branding.
believe in the personal brand? Like, are you a personal brand person, or are you kind of like, nah, this is what I'm doing. I just have cool names for things.
For me, it's about branding. I feel like I haven't really understood because I'm someone that's like, this is me, and I'm going to give myself to you. I'm a host. I'm an actor. I love food. I love people. So I want you to see all that. And I think sometimes people need to like identify you. So they have to identify you as the pulp culture guru, the foodie, the beauty person, stuff like that. But I feel like there's always so much more than just that.
True.
Um, but I also just like, if I'm coming up with something, I'm like, what is the feel of this, and what name should I give it, and can I use my name in it somehow? So
Yeah.
that's where that comes in at.
So I'm looking at this. I got more, please. Tony requests live. Tell me more. Is there anything I'm missing? Like, well, how many more shows with your names on it?
Let's see. There's more, please. Tony requests live. Tell me more. Lounging with Tony, which
Of
was
course.
my original one. Um, I think that's it. That's it. You were
For
just
now.
lounging with Tony. Right. For now. For now. Who knows? And actually, to be honest, more, please wasn't even my creation.
Oh,
A friend of mine gave me that. He said, I don't know what you can do with this, but I'm just going to give you this. More, please. And I was like,
yeah.
I'll keep that in the back pocket. So then
Yeah.
when I created the podcast, I was like, more, please. Got it. That's how we're going to utilize that finally.
It's funny you say that because that's how New Amsterdam started. It was an idea that I had in my head of like it was going to be called originally Urban Urbane, like that
Mm-hmm.
mixture of like the knowledge and the urban environment. And
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a friend at a at a Mongolian all you can eat buffet, and he was
Oh, first of
and
all, the fact that y'all are at a buffet is everything.
I know right, yo,
I
they're
love a
rare now,
buffet.
right? What?
They're definitely gonna be rare now.
But it was kind of like I want to do this. I don't know. Like I wanted to give a shout out to like the hometown, New Amsterdam, and it's like, how about that? Put the K on it, and I was like, that's stupid, or is it?
Or is it?
You know,
It
and
kind of it hits you in different ways because you're like, now wait a minute,
right, that's a dope idea.
you might be on to something.
Right, take it
You
off
gotta
credit
explore
though.
that. Yeah, right, right.
I was
I
like,
did
oh,
that.
yeah,
That's my name.
it was all me. So you mentioned that you are a host and you're also an actor. And I've
Right.
been scrolling your Instagram and TikTok. You're actually a male model too because Homeboy has the fashion game on lock. How's that tie into each other when you think about the presentation of the hosting side, your fashion choices? How's that like interconnect?
Well, it's funny that you say fashion guy. I never considered myself a fashion guy. Like I feel like I wear what I feel. So back in the day, I used to like wake up and go, you know what? I want to look a little more edgy and rocker. So I would have those pieces and put together, or I want to be more dressy or more casual. So I always dressed how I felt. I don't know, when it comes to like posting and all of my stuff. Again, it's just how I feel. But at the end of the day, I always just want to make sure that people feel good when they watch it, or
Yeah,
people have a laugh when they watch it, or just give people a peek inside of like what I'm doing, you
yeah.
know. So that's usually the purpose of that.
I
As
like
long
it.
as long as if I feel it, you'll feel it, you know. So like if I see a TikTok soundbite that I think is funny, I'm gonna like do it and post it in hopes that like you think it's funny too. But
Right.
even if you don't think it's funny, I'm laughing. I laugh at my own TikTok. Like I go back and rewatch my own stuff for the giggle of it, you know.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
So at least I know one person's laughing.
Right, that's it. The
Not
one that
me.
matters. That's actually a cool thing because a lot of times it's all about in the comedy game about what's considered funny and what should you do? Should you make jokes for a certain audience? And a lot of times the
Mhm.
answer is no. Just if you find it funny, then build
Yeah,
on that because you know it's authentic to you and that's
yeah.
better in your story.
It's
That's
authentic to you. It's authentic to your experience. Like you know, when in comedy, I feel like you're taking into that person's world, and them and you sharing their experiences through laughter and them being funny. So do you? That's what I
yeah.
always encourage people to do.
So I watched you from afar at AfterBuzz Hall of TV, a
Hmm.
place where we're all from, and you were like doing a bunch of things. It's almost like they were heavy hitters that were like on this other side. Like I always saw Tony on the red carpets, I always saw Tony on the show, like always hustling. Like you would come in like it felt like a tornado. Like I got interviews, give me a camera pack. It was that cool thing to see that you were so enterprising within that incubator. I guess I don't
Hmm.
know how else to describe it. It wasn't a job. They didn't pay us.
Not a cent. Not
But
a cent.
but now that AfterBuzz TV is on hiatus, how have you been able to transition from that to post AfterBuzz?
Um, it's been an easy transition. It was one that I felt like kind of needed to happen for the betterment of what we created there.
Right.
You know, they decided to go on hiatus,
Mm-hmm.
and for us, for our show Dishin Days, which is a Days of Our Lives recap, we still had new episodes coming out. You know, they're a weekly show, Monday through Friday. There were huge events that were happening, and we had to make the decision to just kind of be our own entity and step out on faith and step out on the fact that we have spent 5 years building this audience, catering to this audience, having fun with this audience, being that thing every Sunday that our audience can come in and tune into and talk about the show with. So we had to make a decision that like while they're down, we got to keep going. So that's what we did.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I want to delve into that because I know not to compare ourselves to other hosts because we all took that news very differently. But there's some hosts that
Hmm.
have created, there's some hosts that maintained, and there's some hosts that kind of like didn't have an outlet to grow.
Hmm.
How what was the biggest challenge for you though to go? We're going to do this under our own vision, our own guidance, transitioning that to your own platform.
Yeah. The biggest thing, the hardest thing was figuring out the technical aspects of it. And then when we found out how easy that was,
Shout out to the pandemic, y'all.
yeah, you know, it was simple because I mean, to be honest, AfterBuzz for us was just the studio and was just the technical aspect of our show.
Agreed.
We created everything from the name to the rundown of how we do it, our segments. Everything was literally cultivated and created by us. And by us, I mean myself and all of the hosts that have been a part of Dish and Days. So for us, the transition was the only difficult part was just finding out the technical stuff, but everything else was already in place. The foundation was already in place. We had already been working super hard on creating this show and building our fan base and doing everything we can to make this an enjoyable, safe space for our fans. So it was easy for us. And it was it's a difficult decision to part ways with a company that you've been with for I've been with AfterBuzz I think like 6 or 7 years.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I realized is that I'm strong enough to part ways and to do what I need to do to continue growing.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their goals are. I don't know what they see in the future, but I know what my future looks like, and I
Sure.
have to keep going.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So I guess that also comes with building your own brand and audience. I notice a lot of your content tends to be on Instagram Live. Have you
Mhm.
found success on that platform? Have you tried other ones? Which one works and which one doesn't work for you?
Oh, Lord Jesus. Let me tell you, the discovery of what people tune into, what they don't tune into, the numbers and all that kind of stuff has
Yeah.
been a lot. And I'll be honest, there were some IG lives that I did that were successful. There were some that were not, um, and I got discouraged because it's that feeling of, well, I have all these people who are on here and they like my stuff and they support me, but I can't get them to tune in.
Right.
And it makes you feel discouraged. It makes you feel unsupportive. It makes you feel like it makes you question whether the product that you're putting out is good enough.
Right. Right.
What I've now had to learn is you have to do it for you. If
Mm,
you are enjoying it, if you feel like you're putting out something great, then continue to do it. The numbers might not be there, but you know what? That one person may go back and look at what you're doing and either be inspired, be encouraged,
yeah.
or that one person that we all look for may say, you know what, you got something, and I want to continue working with you. So I think when you create and not worry so much about numbers, then it's a better place to be than to think, oh my gosh, this only got 30 views. Like, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong.
Right.
You know, if you feel like what you're putting out is great, everything needs to be worked on. Continue to work on it. Continue putting your all into it because someone's going to see it and someone's going to notice it. These social media influencers didn't just wake up one day and post a video and that first video went viral. They had tons of videos before that one went viral, which
Right.
then spin them off into everything else. So keep working. That's what I've learned about.
Has there been any like signs for you? Has there been like the lighthouse in the ocean that goes, oh wait, I'm on the right path, the right track? If someone stepped up and was like, Tony Moore, you amazing, like anything like that?
um, it's when I get messages that say, "Oh my God, what a great interview," or "Oh, I really enjoyed that," or "You made me smile today." It's not in abundance. It's not like I get like hundreds of people that are saying that, but when that one person does, it makes
Yeah.
you feel good, and it makes you feel like, you know what, I am doing something good. I am doing something right. I also say that God also has a way of reminding me that I'm on the right path, and
Right.
it's something small. Like when I feel like I'm at my lowest, there's always something that happens that reminds me of, you know what, kid, you're doing great. You're not where you want to be yet, but you're doing great. So
Yeah.
keep going.
It's funny you say that because like I'm not the most devout person. My parents are, and I
Mhm.
would describe it like there was a game growing up called Super C. The Contra games like from NES or whatever. And
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
yeah, you go in the jungles and you shoot like the aliens or
Hmm.
whatever. Sometimes the best gun was called the spreader, and it would come in a
Hmm.
little capsule from the sky. And I always felt that when you were at the most like dangerous, there was always a spreader would come out of nowhere. You got the gun, you got like the actual like boost. And I don't know if you call it the universe or God or Jesus or Allah, but I thought it was kind of interesting that likewise to you, there's times, especially during a pandemic, going, yo, the world has told me my life and career is non-essential. That
Yeah.
something hits you
Yeah.
like, oh wait, I can still do it. I can still go on that path. It's pretty awesome for sure.
Yeah, and you know, we pop into all these lives of like these celebrities and stuff like that. And we see that they're garnishing hundreds and thousands of people watching, but you know, again, they're on a different level, and you can't always compare yourself to others. You know,
But it's so easy, man. It's just
it
so,
is. It's
it's
so
just
easy.
so easy.
And
Yeah,
especially in our world where like we follow other hosts, so we see what other hosts are doing, and we see this host got this interview and they have all these views, and it's like, but wait, like why isn't that happening for me? Like what are they doing that I'm not doing? But we have to trust in our own path and our own gifts,
yeah.
and our own creations, um, so that we can move forward.
Real talk. Just
Yeah.
a little, nugget of science right there, my man Tony Moore Jr.
You know,
Uh,
I drop a little knowledge every now and then.
Shut up, man. I love it. You mentioned before that you're a bit of a foodie, or a lot of a foodie. What is the weirdest food you tried that is now part of your normal rotation?
Oh.
Like you got put on the like when I was 21 years old, I thought Vietnamese food was like from another planet. But now I can't live without it. I love my pho. You know what I'm saying? Like is there
Oh,
kind of
see,
what it
I
is?
can't. Let me tell you something. Like, I can't get with it yet because I just feel like a bowl of like water and like stuff just may not cut it for me.
That's the worst description of soup I've ever heard in my life. A bowl of water and stuff.
Like, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Sushi, I was like, I don't get it. I don't
Right.
want to eat anything raw. Like, whatever I eat has to touch a bit of Crisco and fire. Like,
Okay.
just a little bit, or put it in the oven
That's
for
sushi
about 30
Crisco.
minutes to see what happens. Is there something? Oh, what is? I don't think there's anything I've had thus far
You had a
that.
party. Someone's like, "What do you like?" You mentioned you dropped some kind of dish. You're like, people are like, "What's that?" You're like, "Oh, you haven't tried this. This is fly or whatever."
Because I'm that person. It's like, and you can relate to this. It's
Uh-huh.
like going to somebody's house and seeing the potato salad, and
Oh,
you know you like potato salad, but you do
right.
one of these.
Nah, I'm good.
It's like, who made it? I'm good.
Wow,
I'm all right.
you're a discerning foodie. I
I'm
love it.
what? I'm a texture person. So like it has to look appealing. If it doesn't, then
Right.
it's a little hard to
Now you just got me more
get into.
curious. What is a gold? What is a food that is the gold standard now? Like what is your palate centered around? Like what is something that make you go, "This is it. I'm a connoisseur of this. I'm a fan of this."
It has to be like just soul food.
Okay,
Like
classic.
like macaroni and cheese, sweet potatoes, collard greens, potato salad, fried chicken. Um, you know, oh, sorry, I just that
It's
all
funny because soul food is the one that makes me go, "Wait, who made it?" She's not a grandma. I.
listen, so there are some soul food restaurants here in LA,
Okay.
and one that I had found in North Hollywood. They're closed, but it was called Miss Peaches,
Okay.
and I remember walking in. I was like, it's a little hot in here, almost as if like the AC isn't working, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it also looks like my grandmama kitchen, and the guy that was cooking looked like your uncle with Coke bottle glasses. I said, this is exactly where I need to be. And the
See,
food was real good.
see, that's what I'm saying. Telltale sign. You go
Yeah,
to a
yeah.
soul food place and the walls are all pristine and white. You're like, I don't see no grease marks. I'm cool. I'm
It's like, I feel like you not from the South, like you learn how to do this and you're
Sure.
trying to make it classy. I bet your pots ain't got no stains on.
Right.
Because if your pots got stains in them, like burnt marks and stuff like that, that means you cooking with fire.
Are you from the South or from like the South, Mid South? Like what part of the country?
Uh, I'm from South Carolina.
Oh, gotcha. The
My
Superior Carolina, by the way.
Yes. My family, my mom and my dad are from Alabama, like from
Okay.
the deep south.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Like they're from a very small town that like you're on the highway and blink and you'll pass it.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
consider yourself more South Carolinian though? You're like more.
Yeah, because that's where I've lived the longest. So I've
Yeah.
always considered myself a South Carolinian.
Yeah, I went to a couple of music shows in the Chuck, and I dug it. It was a real nice
Oh, in
town.
Charleston?
Real nice town. I liked it.
Yeah.
I was living in St. Augustine at the time. So St. Augustine's like here for southern
Yeah.
towns, and everything else is up here.
Uh-huh.
So I was totally fine with that.
Yeah,
Uh,
no. Oh, good old Charleston. No, Charleston is beautiful.
yeah,
I
there's
love
old school
Charleston.
charm to about it. But we
Hmm.
mentioned the slate of Tony Moore shows. You gotta pretend that I am not well versed in the Tony Moore empire. Describe to me real quick the differences of your shows and how do you approach them differently as a host of these shows?
Well, so we'll start with Lounging with Tony.
Lounging.
Lounging with Tony. It's so weird to think about when I first started hosting actually, because I got into hosting by accident. I got into hosting through nightlife, and so I used to host I still do, even pre-pandemic. I was hosting at a club in West Hollywood called Mickey's,
Okay.
and I wanted to hone in on this new skill of hosting. So I created Lounging with Tony, and I wanted to merge entertainment and pop culture and my love of people. So that one started off as like, getting to know celebrities in a very cool, casual way, because I wanted people to kind of feel like, oh, these are just regular people that we see on TV every day. So I wanted to approach it that way. And then, which one did I do next? More Please. I wanted to have an extension of Lounging with Tony and do like a podcast version where it showcases not only myself, but also friends of mine.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of recreate phone conversations that my friends and I would have. So More Please, the podcast came along. And then for the pandemic, I was like, tell me more with Tony Moore. Like, come on here, let's just talk. Let's just, I'll have a couple of questions for you. It's another extension of what Lounging with Tony was. And then, wait, is that it? That's
Tony
all.
Request Live.
Tony Request Live. I wanted to bring back TRL.
In my own image.
In my own way, because I was like, I used to love TRL, and I used to love running home to see like Britney Spears' new video or Destiny's Child's new video. And I was like, well, how can I recreate this, and how can I create something that's fun and also do something with my friend DJ Patrick Kuzara, who was also a DJ for one of my happy hours at Mickey's. I was like, how can we create something? And so TRL was formed as a dance party, as a way for you to request music that you haven't listened to in a while, to see me dancing for a full hour, which my friend Stevenson absolutely loves. He gets a kick out of watching me dance and sweat for an entire hour, because he's like, I know you are tired. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, you are sweating? I'm like, I'm dancing for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing James Brown, man, putting all on the stage for y'all.
Exactly. So that's how all of those came about. But I always just wanted to create something that just made people feel good, just made people laugh, made people feel like they were a part of a conversation, and things like that. So that's where that all comes from.
Yeah, I can't imagine. So I'll dance for 30 seconds, look at the clock, and be like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm so glad you got to be on the show, man. New Amsterdam Radio is a podcast for creatives. If you do me a favor, now we talked about all your shows, can you tell the people out there where they can tune in and watch your content, good sir?
Well, you can find Lil Old Chocolate Me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. And
There's no vanilla you. What the?
Well, 10% of it is.
Okay.
I did my ancestry.com, and I'm 10% Britain. I knew it because I'm a little bougie. So that's the 10% bouginess.
That's not racist. What word is that if you're from England right now? Being like, what?
Yeah. Well, cheerio.
Cheerio.
Tip. Wow. No, that turned to Australian. But yeah, all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. I'm always posting stuff, my TikToks, what shows I have coming up next. Actually, and this is a tidbit for you. I think the only person that knows this is James. I'm actually working on bringing More Please to a YouTube live kind of show.
Oh man, congrats.
Yeah, thanks. Sure. Well, not with YouTube. YouTube just has the capabilities of going live.
It's the same thing.
That's
still worth it. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Well, because see, I keep it 100. Like, I don't like to make myself sound bigger than what I am. Right. So somebody would have went with it, like, yeah, I'm gonna have a show on YouTube and it's gonna go live. And then
we're partnering with YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, so basically you pressing the same buttons I am. Got it. Okay. But I just like to keep it real and be like, listen, I'm going to create a YouTube live show. I think now that I gotten the hang of going live on YouTube with Dishin Days, I'm like, you know what? I want to cultivate all of those shows that I'm doing and streamline it to one thing that people can tune into. And hopefully people will. If 2 people are there, that's fine. That's 2 more people that are watching it. So
yeah, once you get that 6th person, you're like, okay, this is an audience.
I'm like, slow down, people. No pictures, no autographs, please.
I know. I say to my people. No, I will say this: going live too has changed my life. Like, I do a lot of recorded stuff, but putting the live show together for me is what's up Flobo After Hours. It was like, okay, this is legit. This is great.
But you know what? What's strange is that I think a lot of people get very nervous about streaming live, but that's been most of my hosting career.
Yeah.
Was live events. Even at AfterBuzz, that was streamed live. So I think recording something is more foreign to me than doing something live.
Yeah.
I'm like, if we're recording it, I'm treating it like it's live anyway. Like one take wonder. Let's get this
One
on.
take, Tony.
Don't go back and edit nothing. Like just do it live.
I'm the same boat. I prefer live too, but that's because again, I'm a stage person. I'm on stage. I do the comedy. You get the instant feedback. If you screw up, you're like, all right, watch the tape. Do it again tomorrow.
You when you're live, you gotta know how to recover. You just have to like keep it going. You got to keep it pushing. So it's a skill that I feel like a lot of people don't have, but it's a good muscle to have when you can just quickly think on your feet.
True.
To keep things going.
Absolutely. But please come back for another episode, please. I want to talk to you more about this everything, because you're doing it big, man. I'm telling you right now, a year from now, I'm going to be like, I used to know that guy. I mean, the Last Dance documentary, like, yeah, he was my best friend, man. He was on my show. It was great. It was great.
Well, listen, look, from your lips to God's ears, because I hope in a year from now, like I got all my things together. But I'm sure I'll still be the same person. You'll still be able to like, Tony, will you be on my show? And I'll be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. I would text in the mail. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.